So I'm going to talk about softball tomorrow on the show. Their season came to an end getting to the final 5 of the Women's College World Series. Extend Melissa Lombardi now. Don't just go, make it happen. Talk about that tomorrow. So, this was a flop for Oregon baseball. Sometimes I get comments from people, Spencer, why are you being so negative? I don't know. I watch Oregon in the postseason all the time. What do I have to be positive about? What positive spin do you want me to put? Softball season, complete success. Phenomenal year. Winning a game in Oklahoma City. Being competitive with the 4-time reigning champs in what is essentially a home game for them. Baseball, this is dud. This is a complete and total dud. Hosting a regional, Big Ten champions, and you end the season with 3 straight losses. Your best bats go cold at the wrong time. Jacob Walsh has more home runs than any player in the history of Oregon baseball. And in the postseason, particularly regionals and super regionals, guy just hasn't been good the last couple of years, which stinks because he's a great dude and he's an awesome player and he had an incredible career. But this was a flop. To lose game one to Utah Valley, champions of the Western Athletic Conference, and then lose game 2 to Cal Poly and blow a 3-run lead after the 6th inning. The bullpen regressed back to the problems it had. It looked like it had been fixed. Nope. Problems came right back up. This was the worst postseason showing in the last couple of years since I've talked about Oregon baseball's postseason runs here on the podcast. I mean, this is the worst one. Not just by the result, but the way the result transpired. So I first want to talk about game 1 against Utah Valley. Did not like the approach from Mark Wazakowski. I've seen this in high school and college baseball over the years. Bite coaches in the rear end where you're playing an opponent who you should beat. Oregon was minus 900 in the odds to beat Utah Valley, and they lost straight up on their home field. Fan support was great. I love seeing it. PK Park, the Jane for the regionals, super regionals, the fans have been there doing their part. And unfortunately, for Mark Wazakowski's team, when they get to PK Park, his teams have not been good in the regionals and super regionals. They have fallen short on several occasions. They were 2 outs away from Omaha a couple of years ago. It all unfolded. They're out of pitching for game 3, and Oral Roberts went to the College World Series instead. It has not been good. It's baseball. It's a weird game. This is a program, though, that was the preseason Big Ten favorites, the regular season, I think, co-champs with UCLA, that was returning most of their team from last year, that went to their 2nd straight super regional. For those that don't follow baseball super closely, here's the equivalent. Dana Altman goes to back-to-back Sweet 16s, getting beyond the first weekend, back-to-back Sweet 16s, returns most of his team for the following season, and loses in the first round as a 3 seed to a 14 seed. That's what this was. This was just Oregon falling apart. And you know what? The thing that stinks to be an Oregon fan at the moment is if you ever come across fans in real life or online that, make jabs about Oregon coming up short in the postseason, what are you going to come back with? I mean, there's not a lot. You can't, be as down on what softball did. As I said, and I'll talk about them more tomorrow. But this was a massive disappointment. There were big expectations for this team. They showcased why. They certainly had some growing pains. I wasn't thinking this would necessarily be a team that, breaks through and gets to the College World Series. That wasn't always possible with the way they can swing the bat. But for them to go out and go 0-2 when they're hosting a regional and they did not even play a Power 5 school. Bad showing. And you know what? Baseball's like that sometimes. It stinks. Yeah, that's just with the way that averages work. The Rockies are going to be, in all likelihood, if they keep on this path, the worst team in the history of baseball. Last year, the White Sox were the worst team in the history of baseball. The White Sox won like 50 games. The Rockies will win like 40 games. The Rockies beat the Yankees. The Yankees are going to be the favorites in the American League when the regular season comes to a close. They lost the game to the Rockies. Baseball. Texas struggled. Vanderbilt, number 1 overall seed in baseball, hosting a regional. Lost. Wright State got Vanderbilt, a program that has won the national championship in the last 10 years. I forget the season. Might have been, I think, 2018 or so. The thing I did not like about Mark Wasikowski, I have not talked about the umpiring call yet. I know I teased you with it before the break. I'm going to get there, but Game 1, Utah Valley, WAC champs, Mark Wasikowski didn't throw Grayson Grinsell to save him for Game 2. Nope, don't like it. Don't like it for 2 reasons. Number 1, sends the wrong message to the other team, which is chip on the shoulder. They're sitting their ace against us because they don't think we're good enough. You put them in that mindset when they already have a we've got nothing to lose mentality, yeah, that can come back to bite you in the rear end. And it did. Then, I know he's the ace, but in Game 2, it's a lot different when you're pitching with the season on the line, and Grinsell was not his dominant self. When you have got your ace, you roll him out. You roll him out Game 1. And if you have such a lack of confidence in your number 2 pitcher that you feel like you need to throw him against a weaker opponent, then guess what? You don't deserve to be in that position. But I don't feel that way about Oregon. They were the Big Ten regular season champs. They did sweep Oregon State in the regular season series 4-0. I know that team was better than what they put on the field. But the fact that decision got made, did not care for that at all. And in Game 1, would Oregon have won had the call not been made? Potentially. They would have at least been in extras since they lost the game by a run. And the bullpen would have kept throwing. So I can't guarantee you that they'd win the game. But I'm not ranting first and foremost. I know I did a little switcheroo on you guys, but I'm not ranting first and foremost about the atrocity of a blown call at home plate that was the malicious intent from Ansoneros, who gets suspended for the next game, who has to watch Oregon season. Like it was completely and utterly ridiculous. They overturned it. They called it a malicious slide. My understanding is that the umpiring crew was at the mercy of the replay officials for the NCAA. Whoever made that decision after 7 minutes of discussion should not have you do not belong in that spot. You just don't. Because if you actually watch the play, which wasn't initially called malicious intent, but then was ruled to have it, and it is a rule, malicious intent is in the rule book and can override a catcher blocking the plate, which he absolutely was. If you actually watch Ansoneros, he does try to slide. But you can't slide without feeling like you're going to pop your Achilles out of place when the catcher's blocking the plate like that. And Arrows tried to let up. There was a NAIA baseball clip or something that went around where a guy barreled straight through a catcher that was clearly malicious. He lowers the shoulder to look like Noah Whittington running over a safety at Autzen Stadium last year. Ansoneros tried to slide, but it's awkward. And then you see his hands go up. He's trying to brace himself and also slow his momentum so he doesn't hit the catcher. It is one of the worst calls I've ever seen. Here's the facts of the matter. It shouldn't have come down to that. You shouldn't have been in that spot. This is an SEC hypothetical take. If you put Grayson Grinsell out there against Utah Valley, who are not as good of a team as Cal Poly, who he struggled against, I don't think you're in that position at all. And so it was a misplay. I understand the strategy. I just don't like it. I never have. I never will. You throw your ace in Game 1. I don't care who you're playing. You go out there, you make sure you win the game. You figure it out from there. And if you're worried about it, guess what? You've got work to do in the offseason, build yourself a better pitching staff. So it was indeed everybody, it felt like. And I didn't see anyone that disagreed. Even Washington people. Jordan Reffett, who hates Oregon, is just like a total troll, even saw the clip and said, yeah, this is a terrible call. Like, this is an awful call. It's truly awful. That you're operating in that space, though, is representative of the fact that, now, that's not what held you back from making a run to the College World Series. You didn't show up in the postseason. You had a hand. You played it wrong. You played your cards wrong. And all you can do is go back to this is still a really good program. Hosting a regional after back-to-back super regionals, yeah, they're still in a really good place. But the postseason letdowns that Oregon fans are having to go through time and time again, I'm right there with you guys. Not great. It's not great. It's just, it feels like Oregon is cursed, and some team in a major sport's got to break through, whether that's basketball, football, baseball, softball. Someone's got to eventually, right? I don't know who. I don't know when exactly. It'll all be worth it when it does happen, especially if it's football. But it's just Oregon. If you're a fan, you feel like, oh man, feel like Oregon's just cursed. Yeah. I don't know how else to explain it right now. How you can have so many teams that are championship caliber in every way and just are not showing up in the postseason. All you can do right now, get back to the drawing board, go set yourself up to make another run at it. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Ducks.